We can turn it on and off, Mike, right, if we wanna?
Yeah, you should turn it off.
Yep.
Turn it off when we're not talking?
When you're not talking, just turn it off. And
Okay.
when you're ready to talk, turn it back
Okay.
on.
Just like when they had Kobe on the stand there.
Why is it? Why?
Yeah.
They should keep.
I've never done it on HD.
Really?
No, I've only
Okay.
done it on the video too.
Okay, we'll go to video too. There we are.
There we are. Yay!
Okay. You're right.
Oh, right, sorry.
God, you're so good at that.
Yeah. She's an expert.
Everything's ready. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair. It's 5:59. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Joe, can you hear me?
I can't. There we go.
Gentlemen, you ready?
Yep.
John? Madam Clerk?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Vernon Town Board of Supervisors meeting for April 4th, 2019, 6 o'clock, come to order. All rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Thomas Byrd.
Present.
Supervisor Jeff Millies.
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wilding.
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline.
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, note for the record that you do have a quorum of your board.
Open meetings law compliant.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall to the media, to businesses within the town of Vernon. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Thank you. Public comments. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? Record show there are no public comments.
Sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Item 6, miscellaneous matters. Following matters to be discussed and possible action taken by the town board unless otherwise noted. Item A, Scafidi future submittals for site plan of operation. That would be Supervisor Ford. Bill, you asked for that to be put on there?
Yes, my concern was we've already been through 2 applications which were totally incomplete. And I want to be sure that the board in the future does not have more of its time wasted and more egg on its face by scheduling additional hearings on this when the packets have never been completed properly by the applicant. I read a correspondence from Waukesha County the other day who made it clear they basically feel the same way. Things have to be completed adequately, including the signature of the property owner, which we've never had. My concept of what would be required before there's another application applied would be remove all equipment and vehicles from the property. For the last week there's been 4 or 5 trucks, 3 or 4 trailers. Now as of today, 3 of those trucks have disappeared, so I hope that's permanent. They've also had a Bobcat sitting out there. Wood all over the place. It looks like they haven't, almost looks like they brought wood in before they took any out. So I'll bet you there's 25 cords of wood laying out there right now, all over the place. They've been burning illegally. I reported that to the clerk's office the other day. Consistently burning out there with no permit. I want to make sure they pay all and any fees due the town and the county before they can even file an application. And including with restoring the site, prior to use. That whole thing needs to be seeded and mulched. It's a real mess. It's a mud hole right now. So that's my concern, that nobody wastes any time with another application until those items are taken care of.
Okay, Bill, I'm gonna read what, we had quite an extensive conversation with Mr. Macy. I'm gonna read what Mr. Macy suggests here. It says, "This is a policy decision. The town board can direct the town clerk not to place a matter on the town plan commission agenda until the site plan of operation application is deemed complete by the town planner. Once an application is deemed complete by the town planner, the same must be processed and be placed on the agenda. Any such application is subject to the following," then it goes all the way down to engineering, legal, administrative, and all that other stuff in there that we have on our application. So, discussion? Motion?
I just agree with Bill. I think we should direct the town clerk not to place this on any further agenda until such a time as all of the questions have been answered. Based on the letter from March 20th that the county sent out to him, they're finally stepping in and taking control of this a little bit and determining that Mr. Scafidi, actually Miss Wendorf is the owner, but I think this letter is pretty self-explanatory, and I think we should follow the rule and not place it on any town planning agenda until such a time as all of these conditions are met.
Mr. Chair, the one thing I didn't say, but the county does address it in that letter, is the fact that he's got to submit a scale accurate drawing. They've had scribblings submitted to us, no scale drawing or even close to it, so that would be a major item to be added there.
Right. Now, I had called the county and found out when they were gonna start issuing citations. This letter is dated March 20th. We've been after him for a year to get this stuff done. Karen, do you know if Vince went out there or the county went out there?
Vince was out there today.
Okay.
The building inspector was on the site today and indicated that all the equipment is off the property. He indicated to Mr. Scafidi that the parcel has to be in full restoration, and Ben Greenberg is going out there again tomorrow to do his inspection. So Vince said all the equipment is off the property at this point. But I know Mr. Greenberg from the county is going out there. He was going to cite him with a stop order, an immediate stop order if the things weren't removed. So, but Vince did say all the equipment is off the property now.
But that still doesn't answer the question when we can start writing citations. Anybody got any comments?
What did the letter say that went out today? Did it talk about, the letter that went out today, did it talk about the ability to post citations on it?
That's something I'd have to talk to Vince Budiak, but since it's under the county jurisdiction, I don't know if the town can write citations in regards to that property. Right. I could check with Vince tomorrow and Ben.
Yeah, what's going to determine if all the equipment's off the property, how's he remove the wood that's on the property? He starts cutting it up again to remove it.
No.
You know, how do we know he's removing it or not selling it?
I know, as I stated, Vince Budiak, our building inspector, was out there today, and I could talk to him and email his report to you on what he found. I know they were not happy with him being out on the property. No,
gee.
so he was not well received, but I'll ask Vince for a report and type it up and send it out to you all. And I'll also ask the county about,
If Mr. Scafidi is aware that we're not happy with what he's doing.
So is there a motion to direct the clerk not to place a matter on the plan commission until the site plan of operation application is deemed complete by the town planner?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Is that clear enough, Madam Clerk?
and, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Bill Craig talked about having the fees paid before the application is accepted. Is that part of the condition, just for clarification?
Ed, in your motion, is that part of that?
I think it should be, along with the items I mentioned, removing, of course, our vehicles are going out for Karen, but who knows about tomorrow. Restoring the site to the condition prior to use, like I say, that's gonna involve seeding, mulching, grading. The other issue was to pay all the fees. That was the other item I was concerned about. And what Part A on this memo addresses that issue very clearly too. All delinquent fees should be paid. So we have the power to do that. So I think maybe we need to itemize those things.
Karen, was your question regarding the drawing? I didn't hear what you were asking.
No, I'm sorry, Supervisor Moline, my question related to the fees that Bill addressed. I know in your motion you directed that the petitioner bring forth the site plan of operation as requested by the Plan Commission at the previous meeting, which was very clear. So I have that in my motion. The only thing I was questioning is if in your motion, Supervisor Moline, did you want him to have the fees all paid before the application is processed also?
Yes, I'd say at this point we want all monies that are owed before we do anything.
And Supervisor Wildy, do you concur? Is that all right, Mr. Chairman, if I add that to the motion?
Ed made the motion, so it's up to Ed.
Yes, please. Add that to the motion.
It's a friendly amendment, and Supervisor?
yes, I agree.
Thank you. Sorry, gentlemen.
No, it's something like that, we gotta get it right. All right, motion's been made. And a second?
Supervisor Wildy did? Yes.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Approval of the signs for the Fox River Bandits. Mr. Mills.
Yeah, in the packet was 2 more signs from Fox River Band that they want to have the 3x5 banners placed up on the fence. The L2 custom engraving and the other one, Bob Schmal. I'm going to do it this time in addition. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2 signs that were presented in the packet for the Fox River Bandits.
Second.
Ed, you second that?
Yes.
I got a question. It says, believe in yourself, now let's play ball. Bob Summel? What's he advertising for? Just Bob Summel?
Yeah, I believe he passed away and it's in the records of him with the dates on there.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Well, my opinion would be then that should, because I was wondering what they were advertising
Yeah.
there. I kind of thought, but if that's
Yeah, he doesn't have.
in memory or a memorial, it should maybe state that so people know.
Well, there's no contact information, just the
No.
name, so it's,
Oh, okay.
that's my first thought too when I saw it. What's this for, yeah?
Yeah, okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item C, taxation and finance ordinance, town board approval of store receipts for payment. Supervisor 3, Eddie, this is you.
In follow-up to the last meeting, I called two companies to see if they would provide detailed invoices, and they said the cash register puts out an invoice with their SKU numbers on it. The SKU number is something if somebody wants to take time to come into the store and talk to them, they can probably dig out the detail for you, but it's not something you do on a regular basis. So going back to the procedure on this one, Karen gave us the documentation, and it indicates a signature of department head or an authorized individual, which indicates goods and services received or in the proper quantities and price authorized. Well, you can write it by hand, but that's really not, I don't believe, the intent of what the review is all about. I'm not sure what the solution is for it. I'm just bringing it to your attention that we have handwritten, and if that's the best way we can do it, that's the best way we can do it, because technology's got to jump on us here. I mean, we don't know what their SKU numbers translate to, and I'm not sure. Even though the one that said it, it didn't sound like if you went in there every month to get these SKUs translated, anybody was going to help you with it. So, and I see Alex did give a detail on the latest one from Sam's Club.
Yes, you did.
How do you do that? 'Cause they said they wouldn't do it.
No, and Alex did provide me the login to his account, so all I'll have to do, if by chance the chief forgets, just gave me the login. You can print out the detail. And Sam's Club, Costco's are very good about, indicating what the product is.
Is that strictly for the business account, or?
Yeah, that's his Sam's account for the fire department, yes.
Okay, because when I asked about the personal accounts like I got there, it didn't,
He does, just for clarification, Chief Feldy does pay all those bills through his personal account. That's why we're reimbursing, and it's working out well because they automatically take it out. There's no late fees, so it's working well.
If we've solved the problem, great. With regard to handwritten documentation, does anything say go forward we're going to have to deal with that again then, I guess I'd ask? Kevin, who was it we saw yours last time? You recall? Walmart?
Yeah, this chest was on there, so I tried to write on, what the products were, because there was, and then I thought, well, geez, I could take a picture of it, but it's still not telling you what that, I don't know. I just purchased coffee from Costco, and before I made the purchase, I asked him, does it say coffee and creamer, and it did, so, and most of the product I do order is from Amazon, and if John will order through Amazon also, and it gives it complete detail. The only time we're in trouble is like for the appreciation dinner or, things we have to pick up. We don't do a lot of that, but we do it, so I don't know.
I guess my question would be, do we need to modify this document so that this question doesn't come up? Because this is saying we trust everybody to put down the right information, and if we're doing that, why are we bothering to review it? This was to verify. It wasn't a trust issue at all, but that's what it was for. So I'm going to leave it open to the board. Maybe we pass this on to the next group to do a review and figure out what the best way to approach it is. Can I suggest we table this till, anybody have a suggestion? I guess would be the first question. Gentlemen?
I don't think there's a good solution, but I do appreciate Karen writing down on the receipt what the items were.
I didn't argue there.
I like that. But explain it, but at the same time, that receipt's really not very helpful on its own.
Or highlighted.
I think the sad part is the painter's tape, which was $1.27, was perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well, we get some APs that come through with no explanation. And I noticed that in some of the ones that we had in this time. And sometimes I wonder exactly what are we buying here, And a small, like John will write on his for truck number 12, whatever, or this is a gasket that's needed. That's all that's really needed on a lot of these receipts, so that we understand what we actually are okaying to buy, you know.
If somebody questions it, they can go look at it.
Yeah, you can look
Yeah.
at it, you know, or talk to the individual who made out the receipt, like John. I don't have any problem with okaying as long as I understand what the bill is for, you know. And I understand the fact that a lot of these companies do not list. I went to the store today and I stopped before I left the store to make sure that what I got charged for, and I got the discount that I was looking for on it, because they're not real careful once in a while, you know. So
Right.
it's always good to get clarification on the receipts.
Yeah, and I don't wanna say, you know, the emergency, you can't run to the store because of the receipt, you know, I just wanna say is, keep doing, continuing doing it, and mark down the receipt, but the item's worth, it's not very clear. I'm fine with that.
So how about we agree to the fact that if you can go and touch the item, which is basically what I think that whole process was set up for, you have to validate. Not that you have to go touch it, but if there's a question, you can go and say, okay, show me this item you bought, and somebody could show it to you. But I was just concerned when I saw that, because it comes down to, why are you doing a review if you're just gonna take everybody's word for what you got?
If you go up there once a week at the Walmart and want to know what these items are, maybe they'll change their receipt information.
I don't think so.
That lady ran me around.
So it's-
Yeah, I didn't get much luck on that, Joe.
No, I don't think you will.
So, do we let this stand as it is? Is that the consensus?
Yeah, I'm fine with the way it is for now.
Yeah, I am too, as long as we get, Karen did a good job of writing down what each item, you know, it's gonna make more work for you, because you're gonna have to call the store probably and ask them what the code is for this dumb item that they bought. But it would help if the person that bought it would tell you what it is for.
Well, and I think what we'll do is, obviously wouldn't have to do anything to John, and Alex, as a rule, doesn't do a lot of Walmart
Right.
shopping. Home Depot's pretty clear on theirs almost all the time, but
Yeah.
what we'll do is make a more candid effort to, if it's not identified on the tape itself, maybe you could find a SKU number on the product itself or something to help validate the purchase.
Yeah, whoever's buying it knows what they're buying.
Right.
That'd be helpful.
Although I know when we did the appreciation dinner, I bought gift cards, you know, and for the life of me, I'm looking, what did I buy? And I had to go back to the store and say, what is this? They're gift cards. Oh. Sorry.
So no action?
No action, that's fine.
Okay. Item D, move town board meeting to April 16th or April 17th, period.
That's me, I would just as soon, just bypass this item. I don't have any problem with it as of thinking about it.
Okay, do you just want to withdraw that item?
Right, withdraw that.
Okay.
What was the original date for that?
Madam Clerk, let the record
Would have
show.
been the church.
Will do.
Thursday.
Got it.
Thursday the 17th.
Item E, Timothy Martin's TBA Ed Jones Peddler's Permit Request. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Martins came in with his mother to apply for a peddler's permit. He works for Edward Jones, would like to legally be in the community to solicit business for his Mugwanago Edward Jones business, and I explained the procedure. We did the full background check, double background check, not just because of him, but we do an extra one for the peddler's permit. Everything checked out appropriately. He supplied all the information, the picture for his photo ID. If the town board chooses to approve it, it's a 1-month peddler's permit that he's applied for. And at this time, it's on the town board agenda for the town board's review and possible approval. But everything is in order. And gentlemen, I just wanted to let you know, he also understands that the property is marked, no trespassing, no peddlers. He totally understands that he's not allowed to go on those properties per the state statutes.
So this started on 3/18,
And it's good through 2/28 according to the,
It'll start, if the town board chooses to approve it, it would start tomorrow. After we have his peddlers, he has to have his badge made up, which would be ready if you choose to approve it. And then that badge also, board members, would go on the front page of the website. And the detailed in regards to, is on a link into our website, but it would be put on the front page of the website. And also, the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department would be made aware by his picture and his information of his permission to be in our community. That's how careful you gentlemen are in Vernon.
No, I'm fine with that. I'm glad he came forward and got the permit. Not many of the peddlers do in the community. I'll make a motion to approve the peddler's permit for Timothy Martins.
I'm sorry, who seconded that, Mr. Chairman?
Ed.
Okay.
Discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, operator's bartender's license for Bailey Beverage, Kayla Benson, and Madison. I'm
You're-
gonna murder this one.
Nizgoda.
Goda?
Nizgoda.
Nesgo. All right, sorry.
Gentlemen, I just wanted to state for the record that all the applications are in full compliance. They all have complied to their beverage serving license. They also have paid all their fees. Everything is in order for your approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the bartender's license for Bailey Beverage, Kayla Benson, and Madison Minnesota.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item G, Town of Vernon Summer 2019 newsletter. Madam Clerk?
Board members, before you is the newsletter that is for your review and possible approval. Also, just wanted to note for the record that I know the email was sent to you from Mr. Fortner, and the email is in front of you in regards to his concerns. And I did want to state for the record that this was drafted before the election, as you well know. And also wanted to state for the record that we have never, this board and the previous board, the boards that I've worked for, have never had a legal review of the town's newsletter.
Okay, any comments?
Karen, if we approve this newsletter tonight, won't look in the mailbox?
Takes approximately two and a half weeks from your approval to get printed, collated.
Because a lot of
Labeled.
this is, there's some time-sensitive stuff in here, where if it's not approved, it's kind of misses the point of the newsletter.
Well, the issue was trying to get the information regards the referendum, the ballot, the when absentee ballots go through.
Any other comments?
Well, our board's been working on this newsletter, we reviewed it, and our board is still our board. So whatever our board decides, I for one am in favor of going ahead, making whatever changes we need, and send it out. It's part of our responsibility, we're here now, it's in the process. I don't want someone coming back in here now and second guessing everything.
motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
Karen, I just had one question on your article.
Yes,
What it's talking about your hours.
yes.
you know, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Then it says during property tax season, tax payments are received, it's the same hours, it just sounds like it's,
No, I wanted to let the taxpayers know that I'm not doing the 9 to 1. Well, whenever we're open, we'll be collecting taxes, you know, however, we might, and I'd like to possibly extend hours a little bit later and possibly do a Saturday also, just to make it more convenient for the residents, and also letting them know that if they write a check, it can be for their taxes, their dog license, their whatever they want to pay for. It's all, you know, one stop.
it's just when I read it, I was expecting to see different hours and because it's the same, it's like with repeat, that's just.
Yeah, I can clarify that. I just wanted them to know it's not going to be 9 to 1 or 9 to 2. It's, you know.
Something like if extended hours are available, they'd be
Right.
posted or something.
It would actually be in their tax bill and posted on the website, and
That's pretty good.
And my motion is subject to some changes that I think need to be made. Corrections.
I ain't catching it. You just,
Oh. Should I go over those now, Madam Clerk? or-
oh, you can give them to me unless it's up to the board.
All right, I could give you a written copy later if that's better. I didn't have a chance to scan them and email them over earlier.
Is it basically typos?
Some typos, some dates.
Okay.
My biggest concern is page 6, handwritten page 6, talking about the first round, left-hand column, second paragraph column. The first round of brush pickup for the spring begins on October 7th.
Yeah.
And then,
It's gonna be a late spring this year, man.
John, what's the matter? You're looking here.
That's May 5th and May 12th.
And then it says branches at the roadside by Sunday, October 6th.
Yeah,
That would be for the second one, obviously.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
right in the spring one.
Yeah.
It's May 5th and it has
The
to.
6th and the 13th.
You're right. So they have to be out on the 5th and the 12th. They have to be on curbside.
Right.
And then this next paragraph talks about the second round is the problem there with the dates here.
It's for the spring pickup, should be fall.
And we really never decided we were doing fall yet, right? That's
No, we haven't got that, we haven't got that.
right. I went over that 3 times, am I losing my mind, or is this, don't answer that.
that wasn't rhetorical.
Anyway, I had a couple things under your, notes too, Karen. Should I just give you those later?
Sure.
Okay. And I think those were the main. On handwritten page 5, stormwater management and you, it says continue from page 10, and I couldn't make that connection.
Well, I just wanted to hand write the numbers so when you're flipping,
Yeah.
but it does correlate. These are on ledger pages when they're printed together, and if it's directing you to page 10, it's not my handwritten 10. It would actually be the page 10 of the.
Okay.
Just trust me that's right. The brush pickup dates might not, but we'll get that corrected.
Let's see, that does it for me. I'll give you those minor changes for your.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bill, if you had substantial, article issues, maybe the board, but if there are typos and dates.
Mostly typos.
Okay. Thanks, Bill.
Okay.
So there's a motion. Bill?
And Ed second.
Ed seconded?
Yes.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item H, update and report on repayment of paid mileage reimbursement claimed by the treasurer.
That's me, and I'm gonna hold off on it until we get to the APs, because I have a process I want to put in place on that. And Karen, that should be done during the APs, I assume, right? What we talked about? Asking for a chargeback?
Well, you can explain it.
No, like, you can do that now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna read something I wrote so I don't mess this up. I request a chargeback of $1,698.94 to Lorraine Dashick for theft of illegal mileage funds. I feel this is the only method available since she's not come forward with any type of repayment schedule, nor do I believe she will. In my initial request to her at a televised meeting, she responded that I had not done my job. According to her, it was my job to catch her. It's my hope that we at least recover the misappropriated funds for our citizens, thereby fulfilling my duty as a supervisor. We've heard from the detective, Christy Barr, who is reviewing my charge. She has stated she may be done with the review of the paperwork Karen's provided for by next week. It'll be interesting having an individual who's stolen from the town sitting next to me in a future meeting. I hope this town wakes up and educates themselves with regard to those who are electing in the future. As many times as I report on this in our meetings and in the press, I am only left to believe our citizens aren't paying attention. And that's all I have to say on that.
So what do you want to do with that?
What I'm asking Karen to do is charge back.
We can't hear you. You got to get closer to the mic.
I'm asking Karen to do a charge back, which means she's going to issue an invoice to Lorraine for the amount listed of $1698.94. If Lorraine chooses not to pay it at that time, a recourse would be to put it on the taxes at the end of the year and collect them with their taxes. I mean, I see no other means to do this. She doesn't believe she owes it.
Okay. We need a motion on that? You want to make a motion on that to do that?
I think we should get approval from the board.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Now, after we get the sheriff's report back, you
That'll
know,
deal with charges, criminal charges.
okay, that's just.
We're just trying to make the citizens
Okay,
whole,
so-
which is our job.
Okay, so it's just dealing with if there's any criminal charges, she's not looking into say yes, you
Right,
know, this or that.
I'm not involved with that other than having the initial report made. That's in their hands and I'm leaving it to them. This is just our duty to make the citizens whole for money missing. And that seems to be the only way to make it happen at this point in time. We waited quite a while.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Treasurer's request for payment for processing dog license. That's the treasurer, she's not here. What do you want to do with that, gentlemen? Mr. Macy says, I was directed to research certain regarding this matter. I have not as yet had a chance to do so. I would recommend the matter be tabled until I have finished my research.
I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, correspondence and announcements. I don't have any. Jeff?
I would just like to just thank Chairman Byrd and Supervisor Craig for the years of service here on the town board. It's, residents like you that provide value to our town. I appreciate all you've done. Enjoyed working with you. Learned a lot from you guys. Hopefully you still find ways to stay involved within the community. Hope to see you around.
I also want to echo Jeff's comments and in support of thanking both Bill Craig and Tom Burke for their leadership on this board for many years. I just barely avoided joining you So I appreciate the votes that I did get. Thank you to the 12 that pushed me over the edge. And other than that, thanks again, Bill. Thanks, Tom, for all the service that you did and provided for us in regard to the board.
I'd like to echo that statement as well, but I'd like to add to that, not just the service they've provided, but the accomplishments that have been made with them at the board. We're out of county zoning. We've got things that work to help shore up our borders. There's been great taxes over the years. I mean, we've held the price down on that stuff. It's just been a very good working unit here, in my opinion. We were able to come to consensus whenever it was necessary to get something done, and I thank you both.
I appreciate the comments very much. I think back about, I've probably been active as far as attending meetings as far back as 20 to 25 years. Every board I viewed, sitting in the audience, had some conflicts of interest. Someone was voting for something for their personal gain, or they were voting for a buddy for their personal gain. This board, I've got to say, someone told me the other day, I've been on here 10 years, I thought it was 8. Wow, time is really flying when you have fun. But this board, I've got to say, it was summed up here a little. We accomplished a lot of things, but I think the reason we did, I don't think anyone here really had any personal horse in a race. We tried to do, we had conflicts, we had disagreements, which you should have. We ironed them out, and I think everything we've done to this day, and I have no second thoughts, has been entirely for the good of the town of Vernon. So that's all I can say about that. Again, thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. It's been a good working group. I received a correspondence this week from Mr. Malecki, our Park and Rec person, and I'm glad he was getting out contacts. The problem is, I got a very poorly written hand letter on Town of Vernon stationery, very unprofessional, to the businesses. So we finally have started doing that. But it just, what can I say? It's not very impressive to get a handwritten note, half scribbled, on town stationery asking for a donation. Either, we have jerseys or signage on the field. So I'm glad he started putting that effort forward, but I don't know why he didn't go all the way and do a professional job of it. So I guess here on, that's not my mind to deal with, but I know there have been other concerns by the board for several years now, other citizens' concerns as to the money that's going in the department. We've got this great league now renting our fields. They seem very conscientious, have good signage, and that percentage is automatically going to our Park and Rec department with no effort by our Park and Rec. So anyway, that's enough on that subject. I want to just take a minute to thank a lot of people over the years for being on committees, doing flyers, just helping wherever they can, and basically encouraging as we go. Good feedback, positive, negative, most of it very positive. And when you're on a board like this, you can't do everything right no matter how hard you try. But I think you people know who you are. Many are regular meeting attenders, even those who aren't have given great support, and I just appreciate it very much. My big disappointment, when I read some of the things going on in this whole campaign, my big disappointment is that I'm figuring we have between 50 and 60% of the town with their heads buried in a sand pile. No matter what you tell them, you can tell them to come to the clerk's office, look at the facts, come to a meeting, hear the facts. Don't take my word for it. They don't do it. Their card club, their quilting club, their meetings at the bar, all that free information overrides all the facts. That to me is very discouraging. So Ed touched on a little bit here about coming forward, waking up town of Vernon, and I don't care if I'm never elected for another office in Vernon. I want the people to know I'm disgusted with the ignorance. There's only one thing worse than ignorance to me in life. It's being satisfied with your ignorance. And we have too many people like that out there. Too many cliques, too many clubs, too much being discussed. Call me. I've got an office number. I've got a home number. I meet with you at the town hall. Never happens. We're all this behind the scenes baloney. That's what bothers me. I guess it'll never change. It starts in Washington, D.C., and it's infected the town of Vernon also. Again, thank you very much to the people. All the help, encouragement, flyers, signs. Some of you are always ready to help, and committees as well. So, big thank you to you people. That's all I have.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Jeff, what can I say? We haven't seen eye to eye all the time, but we always got worked out. Gary, you're one of the funniest guys I know.
Thanks.
And thank you for all your help. Eddie, you know, I can't tell you enough. Thank you for your service to this nation. That's foremost in my heart for you. And Bill, thank you for everything you've done for me.
Likewise.
And my family.
Likewise.
Just thank you all. And thanks for the people that voted for me. And the people that didn't vote for me, that's all right. All right. Reports?
Sure. You.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You gotta push button. There you go.
Okay, I just want to thank Tom and Bill also for bringing me on 3 years ago. They've been a pleasure to work with and always there when we needed to talk about something and always there to listen. So thank you so much. Basically, what we've been up to is, well, the weight limit signs are off. We pull those off on Wednesday, so there's a lot of happy builders out there right now. Taking down snow fence. Hopefully we're done with the snow fence for the year. That might be a little premature sometimes in April 1st.
Back up tomorrow.
What is May 10th is a major.
Yeah, right. So we've also been working on potholes. I know we've had a few reports. Eddie emailed me one. I had a couple other ones, but for the most part, we try to go around and get as much as we possibly can. If there is a chance that we've missed a few here and there, my phone number is in the flyer, and don't be afraid to call and let me know. Sometimes we overlook them. So we've been crack filling. We started crack filling last week also, weather permitting. Hopefully we're going to hit it hard next week again now. So trying to get a good jump on that we got the whole month of April to hopefully get some crack filling done here. So with the nice weather. So another thing I did just let you guys know, in the public works meetings we've been having in Waukesha County, there's just a discussion of they're trying to get a emergency management program together. Basically, it's consisting of the equipment available from every department or town, city, village, whatever in the county of Waukesha. In case of a natural disaster emergency situation, they're just trying to get a list of equipment that's out there. So I forwarded them a list of our equipment, told them that we'd like to be a part of this. They're going to come up with a whole, list of if we need this or that, these are the guys to call, who's got what, in case of an emergency. So they're going to try and get a little more involved, get a group together, and I think it's going to be a good thing for the town of Vernon if we ever need some help if they're out there. I know when the tornado was here, they had people from other communities coming in.
Can I interrupt? Question. We have the fire chief identified as the head of our emergency management system, as the number one person. Was he at the meeting?
No, this is just the public works people.
Okay.
So,
Just that section.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
So I just want to throw that out there because I think that's a good thing to get involved in with the community here. So I mean, anytime something happens, there's going to be a numerous list of equipment and people, manpower that we can all work together. So that's pretty much all I got.
Clerk?
First of all, Tom and Bill, I wanted to thank you both for your dedicated hard work for the town of Vernon. I can personally attest to how dedicated and how passionately you feel about all facets of town government. And I want to tell you, I know exactly what it feels like not to be reelected. I know it's not a great feeling, but I just want to reassure you that when God closes a window, there's going to be a door open, so watch yourselves. I wanted to thank the electors for coming out. A little disappointed, we only had 50% of the voters at the town hall voting precinct, and at the fire station, we had 54% of the voters. It's somewhat average. I was hoping in the high 60s, but we didn't get there. Wanted to let the electors know that the absentee voting for the May 7th referendum cannot start till May 22nd. The ballots, I haven't even... April 22nd, I'm sorry, and the referendum is May 7th. But I just wanted to let our absentee voters know that we'll get those out to them as soon as we get the ballots, but it can't start in the clerk's office till April 22nd, just to let you know that. Also, I let the board know that Racine County is doing a recount on their referendum. So all day Monday I'll be in Racine County with all my election material has to go down there. And then there's a possible, I haven't heard of a filing, the filing has not been submitted for the town. There's a possible recount in the town and a possible, I don't know what's going to happen at the state level either. So, and the other thing I have to let the residents know, I've received two letters from residents that were addressed from, it says the town of Vernon, it has our address on, and there's election material that did not, I just wanted to let my office, nor any office that I'm aware of from the town of Vernon, did any type of mailing for this last campaign. I talked to the district's attorney's office. They want that information sent to them, and the information was sent to an attorney in the town of Vernon, and that attorney contacted my office this morning, very upset with the fact that it appeared that it says right on there, town of Vernon, it has our address, it's got a stamp, so the district attorney's office asked me to bring that in, and we did have an issue at the polling location that I have to bring to the district attorney's awareness also, so I'm going to bring everything down to the DA's office, and that's all I have.
Finance. Approval of accounts payable dated April 4th.
The only question I have, and I'm going to have to clarify this with the fire department. We keep getting clothing come through from this one company, Embroider Me or whatever it is, and they keep charging us tax. Now, if we deal with them that on such a regular basis, they should have on file our tax exempt status card. And I'll have to talk to John, Assistant Chief Kubiak, and let him know that, I'm tired of seeing tax payments on something that we should be tax exempt on, so I just want to make you aware, Karen, and I will probably be talking about that. I know we have to approve it as it is, but it's piddling amount, but it adds up after a while, $3 here, $5 there. And it's silly. We don't have to pay tax. We shouldn't have to. Government gets enough out of us.
I have spoke to him about that in the past.
Huh?
I spoke to Kabaki on that in the past.
Oh, did you? What did he say?
The people go and buy the stuff and bring it to them, and it's after the fact that, where they have to put it out to everybody.
But they go to the same company, and the
Yeah,
same
the
company,
organization.
yeah, the same, that company should have, he should take down a copy of our tax exempt card, you know, so that when it comes something from the Vernon Fire Department, that they don't charge us tax on it. That's just a problem I have with that.
I had one other question, and that was on 65420, reimbursement for supplies from Alex, and it was dated in 2018. Was it October, I believe, 2018?
That is a correct date. Alex is good about having his bills paid through his credit card. He's not very good about submitting it to the town for reimbursement, but he promised me he's going to, and I can assure you that is in the 2018 expenditures. You will not see a journal entry from our auditor. I have entered that into the financial systems appropriately as a 2018 expense, even though it's being paid in 19.
So he's
But
not going to put back into
no, we're not paying I entered it appropriately, but I give all these things to our auditor so he's seeing what's happening. And I did talk to Alex, and he is now, I don't think you'll see that happen
Was this
again.
a lost invoice maybe?
Yes.
Sound like, yeah. Okay. At least it came in with the receipt, so no complaints.
I think his wife asked, how come your credit cards are so high and we're not getting it? No.
His credit card is all that problem.
Yeah.
Is he gonna share the frequent flyer miles he's earning?
On what?
Using his credit card.
Oh, yeah. Will we get credit for those?
Anyone else have questions on this one?
Oh, I had mine.
Otherwise, I'll make a motion to accept the check register accounts payable in the amount of $146,391.26. Oh, with the less for the manual check.
I know there was a reduction.
What?
Supervisor Moline, there was a $25 reduction in APs. It's on the blue sheet.
Oh, so that changes the number to, I'm sorry. I redact that and go to 146,366.26.
Perfect.
Madam Clerk, I was reading something here in the packet. Did someone bring that up about the 7251 that I missed here, which was account 52200.390? It was protective clothing.
Was that a tax question?
Let's see, what can you give me
You talking about the tax?
here?
Carrie just-
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. I apologize, I
No
was
problem.
looking at another document here, so.
So there's
I
a
made
motion.
You don't have a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Question. That dog catcher, was that part, I didn't see that in here. A check for Lorraine for the dog catcher, was that separate from all the APs?
That was up on the agenda, and it was tabled.
Okay, so it's not in here.
No, it was tabled.
Just want to make sure I didn't have a bad number again.
Yep.
Okay.
Any manual checks, Madam Clerk?
No, there are not, Mr. Chairman.
ACH? Any questions? None? All right. Town board minutes.
Mr. Chairman, would you mind getting an approval on the ACH?
Is there a motion to approve the ACH?
I've got a few questions here. Should we
Yep.
Second first?
No, there is no.
Few changes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Supervisor Craig, I had asked Mr. Chairman if we could please get a motion to
Moving
approve,
back to ACH.
approve the ACH, some expenditures
I'll
for
make a motion to
March.
approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The auditor really likes you guys approving those.
Now we're on the minutes, Bill.
I'm getting.
I'm sorry.
March 21st, 2019.
Okay. I'm on page 1, 6B. The line that starts with read an article. Just to clarify, it was in a flyer. Rather than newspaper.
I'm sorry, Bill, what did you say?
Page 1, 6B.
Yep.
About 2/3 down, read an article in a flyer. It was actually a flyer, not a newspaper. Got that one, Karen? What would it be? 3, 6, 9, 10 lines up from the bottom of paragraph B.
Starts with the word read on the left. Karen.
Okay,
Read an article.
in a flyer?
Flyer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. And then the next page 2, first paragraph, Supervisor Gary Wiley stated the new updates will discourage, I think should be discourage annexations for higher density, not lower density. Because our idea is to go to higher density along the borders.
Mm.
Right, Gary? Am I
Yep,
right?
that's
Okay.
correct, right.
Okay. Okay, page 3 looks good. Page 4. I don't know, I'm sorry, Karen, I had to do a lot of, Supervisor Bill Craig under A, last paragraph. It should say he read an email from the county about the Scafidi property.
what page are you on?
This is Supervisor
Oh.
Bill Craig under 7 and 8A.
Okay,
The last paragraph, under A. And then, going down to the second line, would like to discuss how the town board will handle any future applications for rezoning. To discuss how the town board will handle any future applications for rezoning. And then I had payment of outstanding fees should be one prerequisite. That was part of our discussion at that meeting. And let's see, that's all I had.
Anyone else?
You'll be rid of all the nitpicking.
We expect it to mail.
Send it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Bill's,
Yeah.
expertise and extra stuff, yeah.
Boy.
You guys will still be arguing about the first agenda item. Is there a motion?
On the motion? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st, 2019 with the changes mentioned by Supervisor Craig.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. March 26th, 2019.
I move we approve the March 26th.
I bet you didn't
minutes.
turn that thing on up there. Shoot.
Second.
I didn't.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's too late now.
Ayes have it. Next meeting date's April 18th. Possible date change,
If the board made a change, but they didn't.
Okay. Scratch that one. Town of Vernon annual meeting, April 16th, 7 p.m. Public hearing comprehensive land use plan, April 17th. Cooperative border non-binding referendum, May 7th. All right, public comments, any public comments?
You have to push the, can you turn his mic?
Maybe no around. Along with all the talk and thank yous, I would personally, as a resident of this town, like to thank all of you for what you've done, and as a board as a whole, I think, and Tom and Bill especially, because they're not going to be here, well, they better be here, but they're not going to be here sitting where they are now. But I think, it's probably in my estimation, because I've listened to other boards, sat here for other boards, and to me, this is probably the most progressive, and I use the word as, not the way it's used now, it's not a leftist term, progressive, the root of the word is progress. You guys have made more progress than any board that I've seen since I've been a president of this town. Keep it up. Hopefully the new ones will do the same thing. I can keep all my fingers crossed, but I will definitely watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any more public comments? Any more public comments? Adjournment.
So moved.
Make a motion, adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whoops.
7:05, adjourned.